So hello there, Team E. So you're back over here with Below the Deck, where we get to learn a little bit more about our leaders throughout the week. So this is going to be a little bit of an interview slash testimony on our leadership, and this will all be posted up. So we're excited to hear from these two leaders that have led us throughout the week. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let me go ahead and start out with my very first question, and we'll go ladies first. So let me go with Miss Rebecca Drennen Wright. And my first question for you on our interview side is, who were you back in high school? What kind of person were you back in high school? Were you kind of like a big time rocker, or were you a person that studied a lot of books? Were you like the book smart person? Tell us about yourself a little bit, Miss Rebecca.
I was actually part of the Outcast crew. Basically, a mix of stoners, tweakers, drinkers.
Okay, well, awesome. Okay, it's always interesting to find out, exactly which kind of group that you grew up with. But awesome. And what about yourself, Mr. John Hefner? What kind of person were you back in school?
Wow. Going into high school, I was doing a lot of, what would you say, mind exploration. And so I was pretty far out there. So I don't remember much about 10th grade. I remember getting a 40 and a 35 in algebra. That's how stupid I was. So, but I needed 3 credits to go from 10th grade to 11th grade. And I ended up I was very good at writing. So I had our term paper was write, I believe it was either 7 or 10 different types of letters to different types of people, different sorts of situations. Well, I killed it. There was this preacher, that I was up that lived a little ways down from the high school, and we were good friends. I went in there, I gave him all my info, right, and all my papers that I wrote. He turned around and typed them all up for me. I handed them in. I believe it was an A or an A plus on it. I got that 1 credit for English, and then Votech gave me 2 credits. So I was able to go from 3rd to 10th to 11th grade, because I only needed 3 credits to move forward. After 10th grade, things smoothed out. 11th grade is kind of iffy. 12th grade, one of the best years of my life. It was great. I met this girl, that kind of kept me straight.
Right.
So it was a great ride. So I met wonderful girl. I remember her forever. And so that was pretty cool. Got out, and but I was able to get along with everyone. I was able to, from the jocks to the heads, to any ethnic, group that there was in school. I didn't want to get beat up. You know what I mean? So I had to make friends with everybody, and
Awesome.
that was just my nature, to be in the circle of everybody. And I had a lot of friends, but only a few tight ones. That last to this day. But
Awesome.
high school was pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And my next question I'm going to go to is, we're going to go to Miss Rebecca, and that would be, let's talk a little bit about one of your, let's say, the biggest challenges that you've experienced since you've come into Legal Shield. What was one of the biggest challenges that you had to deal with in the business? Would there be anything there that you can kind of share with everybody that kind of was a tough part for you?
The toughest part for me was to get over my shyness and my nerves speaking to people I didn't know. But in the 8 months that I've been in Legal Shield, this last month, I've actually flourished into a beautiful little flower, I guess you would say.
Yes.
And with that, I've got a lot more confidence. I had really low self-esteem before all this.
Awesome. Well, you're doing great. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And Mr. Hefner, what was one of the biggest challenges that you had to deal with in the industry? Kind of a transition over. What would you say?
Well, coming from where I got not hoodwinked, but coming from a different network marketing with Amway, coming in here, I'm full of brainwash, and I'm thinking I know better than everything, and it's things are different. We do things different. There's still a lot of memory in there that I can import to future people and then try to lead them. There's a lot of things in my head that go that way. But getting over it was trying to realize that I don't know everything, and then rewriting and writing and writing, scripts and stuff, I should say. I will, maybe not scripts, but you know what I mean, rewriting your presentation to others. So,
Right.
but I love to write, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And I see you got your hand up there, Miss Rebecca. Did you have a comment?
Actually, I do. In the 8 months since I've recruited my husband as an associate, till a week ago today that I recruited my adopted daughter, I've learned how to be more into my associates and be a coach and help them through their start out process.
Well,
So,
you kind of alluded into my next question, so that's great. If you could go back in time, get in an '88 DeLorean and go back into the future or into the past and talk to yourself before you got started with Legal Shield, what advice would you give yourself back then to kind of where you're at now?
I myself would tell myself in the past that I need to get I basically need to open up and be there for those that are younger than me, like my husband and my adopted daughter, and coach them through life, whether it be in their private business with Legal Shield or give them advice into becoming an adult.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much. John, what kind of advice would you give yourself, even before Legal Shield, that you now know that if you could go back, would there be something that you would advise your own young self, or possibly before Legal Shield, or what would you do if you could go back?
If I could go back, the one thing that I myself would change as a young man back then at 18, 19, it would have been to stay in the Navy. I mean, stay in for 20, 30 years, call it a career, and then just chill. But, it is what it is, and we move forward, but yeah, that would be the number one thing, just to just stay in, because I went straight in as a reservist. I didn't go anywhere. Went right back home. I should have toured the world. I should have been around, but I didn't, so that's my biggest regret, I would think, in life.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's pretty much on the end. That's exactly where I was getting to, because we're kind of in the tail end. They say we're not too sure of the pandemic, and we had to figure out a way how to adjust as a team. And so you guys have really come together nicely, both of you. And I just want to say thank you for this brief interview. You guys rocked all week. We'll be seeing each other for our check-in as a team, but I'm just really, really proud to work with both of you, and you guys are growing in leaps and bounds. But thank you for taking part of this interview, and we will see the next leader in the next below the deck. I almost said above the deck, below the deck. So thank you guys very, very much, and we will see you soon. So that's bye-bye for now.